Okay, so my name is Imre Nagy, and I am currently leading the product and the engineering team at Colossian. Therefore, I think I am the right person to tell you about what was the worst release that we have so far. I've seen it all, and I promise that I'm not going to pull my punches. It's going to be a very, very honest reflection about how we went down, and I will try to be as truthful as possible. So, yeah, the title of my speech is "We Fucked Up" and the story of our worst release so far. And hopefully it's also the worst release like ever, right? So we will not have something similar. I'm going to actually cut to the chase right away, and I will talk about the story itself. And then I will talk about the aftermath, like what happened after the release itself, what learnings did we take, and then at the end we can have a little bit of a Q&A if you have any questions. So let's jump straight in. First of all, I would like to start just a bit of context about how we ended up where we ended up, right? Because I think there is a very strong cultural connotation to the story that I'm about to tell you, and I think it will help you in understanding a lot if I walk you through where did we come from and how and where are we going to and how we ended up sort of cooking this up together. So first of all, in 2023, Colossian is a smaller company. We are going through hypergrowth at the moment. We are establishing ourselves in this forming product category, right? No one knows about AI video generation. I'm going to talk about the product in a little while. And we have 7 engineers on board, right? The name of the game is we are hacking things together. Things like we will test in production is a common expression at this time. Within Colossian, we 7x the company within the same year, and we are going against a big company, a big established company who already has like a market grab in the industry, who is way bigger than us. They started years before us, so we somehow need to get an edge against this Goliath who is controlling everything. How are we going to get this edge? We're going to get this edge by focusing on velocity and velocity and velocity. So what we are doing here is not something that you should describe as software development. What we are doing here is called hacking, right? So no one cares about code quality. No one cares about edge cases. The only thing that matters is pushing things out to production as fast as possible, break things, move fast. We're going to fix it later. That's kind of like the ethos of how we are developing. And it works. As I said, we are going through astonishing growth. Colossian performs in the top 10% of startups within this category. That's an unbelievably good benchmark to have. Like I cannot highlight this enough, especially considering that we are going up against someone like a much more established product. Why was this working? The reason why this was working is because at this point we are selling to early adopters, right? B2C, Colossian's big amount, most revenue is coming from everyday consumers like yourselves, right? So they don't have big expectations, and they are part of this journey, and we can get away with it, right? They are very tolerant for faults and bugs, and they kind of like are with us on this journey. But we can see it in the distance that in 2024, as we grew, we saw that more and more revenue is coming in from enterprises. So probably we'll have to do an upmarket motion, right? We see this in the distance, but at this point, who cares about it, right? We are still like going fast. Nothing matters but the speed. And then what changed the game for us is the 2024 fundraising round. We raised $22 million. For the first time in Colossian's history, we are no longer operating under uncertain tomorrow, right? This is the very first time that we can engineer knowing that Colossian is going to exist as a company a year from now. Like, why care about tech debt in 2023 when you have 6 months of runway, right? It's a good trade-off to optimize for a very aggressive product engineering approach and deal with it later if we make it. But 2024, we raised $22 million, which completely changed the equation. Finally, we have 2 to 3 years of runway. So we can change our way of development. And at this time, the way we could maintain this hacking approach was through we had a very strong CI/CD pipeline in our back, right? This is something that a colleague here who is listening to was adamant on. We had a very solid CI/CD pipeline that was aiding us to release features quickly. We were able to release roughly 9 to 10 times every single day in 2023. A way we were joking about, every time we hired someone, we were racing how fast we can push something of the new hiree out to production. And this was usually either the same day, first day when they started, or the second day. This was like a joke that we were playing, that we were doing here. At the same time, we were operating under constant urgency, extreme urgency. The leadership team, including myself, and the product team was like completely overpowering the engineering and the design team. As I said, very aggressive, going up against the big guy. Discard tomorrow, we don't care about it. And the product was falling apart under us, and we needed to find a solution to make it somehow stable. And the way we solved it is the most Colossian way ever. We decided, okay, we're just going to slap a few end-to-end tests to it. We had a few tests at least, but we just carpet bombed stability. Let's make sure that the most important features are running at all time and don't care about unit tests and code coverage or anything like this, right? Schizophrenic development, right? No point of thinking about next week or the week after, because at any point a big sales deal can come in and they can say, okay, we are going to sign with you, but only if you ship us this feature. Then we are shifting gears. We are shipping it next week. Or another client will say, we're going to churn away unless you fix this. We throw away all the roadmap and we are focusing on their issues. And that's why I'm saying schizophrenic development, because we didn't have focus at this time. But at the same time, we managed to have team alignment because we were a team of 7 engineers. It was a single team. This was informal alignment. We didn't have processes. We didn't have sprint plan. We had some sprint planning and stuff like this, but it was only there for ceremonial reasons. But the point is that we managed to get by with them. We managed to get away with this because we had this informal alignment, and we didn't need to put in a lot of effort in maintaining this. So this is what carried us through 2023, exceptionally successful year for Colossian. We managed to keep it together, but the $22 million suddenly opened up the bigger horizon, and we needed to change our ways because everyone knew that the debt has to be paid at some point, and we will have to change our ways of developing. So we entered 24, and I talked about the upmarket momentum. We entered 2024 with the headline, and this really is what I was repeating over and over, that this is the year when we are actually going to start software development. So up until this point, we were hacking together, but now we have the money, we have the opportunity, we can finally afford to pay good, like really good software engineers. Previously, in the previous era, if you wanted to hire someone very high level, principal staff level, they asked how much is your runway, and we could tell them a nice story, and then they said, okay, too risky for me, I'm not joining you. But suddenly we were able to tell them, guys, we have a bunch of money in the bank, you can join us, and you can guide us and help us through this phase. So because of this, in 2024 we scaled up the team. We entered 2024 with 11 engineers. We scaled it up by the end of it to 27, more than 250% growth. And because of this, we managed to get rid of focus issues, right? We have much more engineers now. We don't need to have 7 running processes for 7 engineers, right? We can afford to have 2-3 engineers working on the same thing. They can actually review each other's pull requests. So you see, software development. We change our ways from hacking. This is, as I said, we hire very good people who can guide the team through, and we are no longer doing hacky stuff. We are paying much more attention to code quality, which is our next good thing, right? So code quality is of utmost importance. These guys, they immediately bring in other good habits, such as documenting our work. This is the time when our coding guideline and testing guidelines in 2024 start to be established. And of course, there is no stabilizing an unstable product without being able to see. So we are also investing in observability. So this is 2024's sort of agenda. This is how we are going to reform our software development, right? And it looks amazing. Urgency is there because leadership always wants urgency, but this will work. Let's see how it worked out, right? All right. I think this is the point when I can talk about the actual project at hand, which went under the codename Script and Conversation Merge. Very minimal amount of background about Colossian. Colossian is a web-based video generation product, and we are working in deepfakes. Okay, so we generate videos with speaking AI avatars, and the way you can define what you want them to say is you can type, right? So same stuff as Google Slides, except we generate videos. You select an avatar, and then you type what you want them to say, and we are generating a video out of it. The thing is, you can define, either you can type what you want them to say, or you can upload an audio with speech in it, or we had a conversation mode, which is multiple avatars talking to each other and taking turns. So these were the 3 different modes of operating an avatar. We wanted to merge these 3 because all 3 modes, as I said, we didn't do software level hacking. All 3 of these modes had a different feature set that they were compatible with. And as we grew, a bunch of customers wanted to mix them and match them and overlap them. So we needed to merge the 3 script definition modes together into something that's almost like a mini Notion, so a very rich text editor in which you can define who says what, you can upload videos, you can upload audios, you can choose languages, you can mix languages, you can upload audios and mix scripts and so on and so on. So this is the project at hand. Okay, and this is going to be the foundational first block of a much bigger and broader initiative, which is redoing our video editor. So you can see that this is the future state, by the way, since then it has been released and we are still alive. And this is the first, sort of building block that we are trying to release at this point. Okay, so project kicks off in 2024, 1st of February. We need to assemble a strong team. We have 2 senior engineers at hand who have been with the company for a while now. So they are actually they understand the context. They are going to be the ones to do this. After a January quick spike on this, they come back with the first and the initial estimation of a target date of the 15th of March. So we set out, and everyone is happy. By the way, the very fact that this is going to be a 6-week project is a big stretch. Like in 2023, we were working in days when we were shipping features, and suddenly someone says 6 weeks. So the leadership team has to swallow this, and this is difficult, but we are accepting it because 2 senior engineers are saying it. So 15th of March, let's do kickoff, right? Okay, the thing is, the lead engineer who was about to lead this project was caught up in his previous project, right? He couldn't finish his previous project in time. So the real project kickoff is going to be on the 15th of February, but no more delays. And we are still committing to the 15th of March. All right. So here's the thing, okay? So the 15th of March, right? The 15th of February, right? The thing is, there is this customer, really important customer, who is going to churn unless we fix a bug for him. And obviously, the best engineer at hand would be the lead engineer of this project. So, but it's a 1-week thing. So we are like, okay, we can stretch the script conversation merge with 1 more week. So we're going to do that. So the real project kickoff is going to be on the 22nd of February. No more joking around. Okay, so 22nd of February came around, and obviously the 1-week fix didn't finish within 1 week. It's going to be a 2-week fix now. But at this point, we are 1 week in. So what are we going to do? Either we're going to stop that, we're not fixing it, the customer is going to churn, but then we did 1 week of effort wastefully, or we're finishing it and we swallow the pill. By the way, still committing to the 15th of March. So we decide that we're going to finish the fix and we are going to go kick off the project on the 1st of March. And finally, we do kick off. So the real project kickoff happens on the 1st of March with a very generous update on the timeline until the 31st of March, which is our new target date. Kickoff happens, the team starts getting hands-on with the code itself. Within 5 days, they are raising the alarm that, guys, the spaghetti is way bigger than we initially estimated during the spike. We will need way more time to get this done. So they're asking for an extension, or maybe we can pull in more engineers, and that's the second one is what we decide upon. On the 6th of March, another senior engineer joins the team. So now we have 3 senior engineers in the team, and we are committing to the 31st of March. This commitment didn't last long. Within a few weeks, the 3 senior engineers are signaling that, guys, no, this is not going to happen. We need many months to finish this properly. At this point, we are so deep in that we can't really change our ways now. So even though there is this extreme urgency, wanting to move on, and it's very alien for Colossian at this point that we are having month-long projects and refactors. We have to swallow the pill. So the leadership accepts it. I just gently, in the meanwhile, thanks to the fiasco in the beginning, going to place back lack of focus as one thing that we immediately managed to drop. All right, but still looking pretty good. But this choice introduces this acceptance that we're going to have a multi-month long stretch. This introduces a problem. How are we going to manage the rest of the team and these teams work together in parallel, right? We will have 3 engineers working on the script conversation merge, and we will have in the meanwhile 15 other engineers working on the product. So we have to somehow sync their work. We could choose to go with the feature flag systems and continuously release. In this case, everyone else, so the 15 other engineers, would have to be responsible of making sure that whatever they ship is compatible with both systems, the old one and the new one that the other team is building. Or we can go with the bed route, which is the big feature branch, right? Which we are bloating and growing bigger and bigger for multiple months. And then the 3 engineers who are going to build this project will have to continuously sync in the main branch into their feature branch. But this way, at least they have full control over every single line of code, and they are the ones maintaining the compatibility. I mean, the downside is that there will be a huge merge at some point down the line, but who cares about that, right? So naturally, the choice is to go with the second option. We are going to go with a single Giga branch. So there goes frequent releases, which was a good thing. Okay, months pass at this point, and not much happens. The team is working, and things are actually looking quite good. Videos are emerging in Slack about preview videos. The product is slowly shaping up. Everyone is very excited. Finally, we are looking like it's coming together, and it does. We can get hands-on. At deadline, the 31st of May, people get hands-on with it, and we have the first round of QA from the courtesy of Jofi, and the end result, I think it was Bernie at this point, sorry, and the results are horrible. There are hundreds of flows that needs to be tested here, and roughly 30% is red, like core flows that this thing has to do. So the QA shows horrible results, and we have to scratch the new release date, and we have to set up another release date. So the team sets up to have the new target date of the 1st of July. We need 3 weeks to fix the bugs. And at this point, like, pressure is on. The management team, and I don't want to get out of responsibility, including myself, is like pushing hard on the team. Why does this take so long? Why we didn't be able to estimate it in the beginning? How can we speed this up? Is there anything within our control that we can change to make sure that this time we are hitting our deadline? And there is one more thing that we can change. Believe it or not, there is one thing that we can still fuck up. We can burn the bridge backwards. So the thing is, if we want to make sure that we can revert this Giga change, then we have to prepare the current application, so that when we revert, the data which has been changed now with the new application is going to be, we will be able to, the old system will be able to handle the new data, if you understand what I'm talking about, okay? So, but if things go perfectly, this is wasted effort, right? So naturally, we decide that this is not something that we really need, because the release is going to go perfectly. So let me just put a few more things up this board. So we chose the risky release strategy, which is going to be a single merge at the end of everything. And I think this is where we are right now. Let me just put one more urgency up here, right? Just to kind of like make sure that everyone gets the message. All right, 1st of July comes around, and here goes another round of QA. And the results are very promising, but they are still not good enough. So we do, I'm not supposed to show you that yet. We do another QA comes around. It's not good, but almost good. We need a few more weeks to fix it. 31st of July is the new target date, which this time we are going to hit. one thing I didn't tell you intentionally is that on the 22nd of June, of the 3 senior engineers who have been working on this project, one of them had, and I am actually not joking here, so one of them had like a personal life event changing, so he handed in his resignation right here on the 22nd of June immediately, so 30 days of, so 22nd of July, he left the team. So the 3 engineers who have been working on the project is now down to 2 abruptly. We really didn't have a way to deal with this or predict this. So now we are down to 2, but the deadline is approaching. One more thing I wanna highlight is that at this point we are well into 2024. Colossian's the biggest part of Colossian's user base are enterprises. Enterprises have very seasonal usage on the product. So we are really pushing to release this thing in summer when we know that enterprise usage is much lower because everyone is on vacation. So there is this additional level of urgency that if we already chose the riskiest release management, then at least release in the middle of summer so the blast radius is smaller in case things go bad. But that's another thing here. Okay, 31st of July comes around and it's good. It's actually good. We do a round of QA. A few minor bug fixes need to be done, but it's not going to take us many weeks. The 9th of August is going to be our final new target date. And this time we are on, so no more joking around. One more thing though that I think I need to highlight. Oh, by the way, by this time, code quality, I told you, like, the level of pressure that we put on the team was so high that everything that was compromisable was compromised on. So it's not something that we cared about. As sort of urgency and pressure grows, your risk tolerance grows as well because you think that that's how you can win, and that's why we made this choice as well. So 9th of August, guys, one more bad choice and then we're done. The lead engineer, we're down to 2 out of 3. The lead engineer is going to go on a 2-week vacation on the 11th of August. Either we are going to release this and it's summer, so lower blast radius, or we are not going to release this and we are going to wait. But like management is no longer accepting any excuses. We need to go ahead with the release. This is me mainly. So 9th of release, down to a single engineer. We go on with the release. So I think team management, there's no more team, right? So this is where we ended up, right? Thanks to our choices. And on the 9th of August, we actually did pull the trigger and we pushed this to production. Just an FYI, more than 50,000 lines of code in a single merge. And those are all real lines of code. So there is no package JSON and shit like this. That's actual engineering work. Goes in on the 9th of August. So the project scope was vastly underestimated and we were not really able to accept this. We pushed the engineers working on under so tremendous amount of pressure that they were willing to compromise on anything and everything. At the end of the project, no one cared about what we are shipping. The only objective everyone had in mind is shipping something. We chose the riskiest strategy, intentionally burned down the bridge backwards, and decided to go ahead with the release, even knowing that 66% of the team who are in context and would be able to do anything if anything goes wrong is unavailable. So let's see how it went down. Immediately after the release, we had a 2-hour partial API outage. This is like the quiet before the storm. And this is absolutely nothing. By the way, the release happened on a Friday, and no. I stand by. This wasn't a bad choice. This was a good choice. We intentionally chose Friday to release because that way we are able to work over the weekend, which we did, to fix issues immediately. This was fair play. I stand by this decision. All right. So the release goes out. 2-hour outage. That's nothing. Video generation success rate plummets to about 93%, which we fix over the weekend, which is our core value proposition. We are a video generating company. So this is also back to zero. All is good. How about the bug tickets? This is the chart that tells the story. On the 11th of August, which is a Monday, we have a 5x amount of bug tickets pouring in, way more than we usually have. Customers are unbelievably frustrated with us. We changed fundamentally how the software works. You know, like onboarding flows and things. Those were cut out of the scope. So there is no quick solution. We can't go backwards. So we have to fix this. And you can see this on the chart that this is not something that went up and down. No, this lasted many, many weeks. So this was actually very damaging to the company. One of the biggest damage that this caused is our biggest client at the time. Like churned in like 3 days. They said that okay, we are not willing to work with you anymore. This was a big fucking hit for us at the time. But not just external facing issues. Our customer support team at this time consists of 2 people. One of them hands in his resignation immediately within 3 weeks. Thanks to the amount of effort. He doesn't even wait out the 30-day, like we agreed to mutually depart within a day. So this is the business continuity at this point. Like our customer support function is a single person. So business continuity and disaster recovery, all of that is out of the window. And several people got really burned, not burned out because they didn't quit, but burned, and not really developers. I actually think this is one of the most interesting part of the story, that the people who got the most burnt were customer success and customer support people. So the frontline workers. So that's kind of like the aftermath of all of this. So there is, if you pay the thing is, when we release this thing, all of the tests were green, and we did a lot of tests, and we did a lot of QA, and really a lot of QA, and everything was unbreakable. Everything looked very stable for us. So what went wrong? We still have this thing saving us. How did this not work out? Well, the thing is, we didn't test what we should have tested. The software that we released was remarkably bug-free. It really worked as it should have worked. It just didn't do what customers expected. It was a very surprising amount. The amount of bug tickets that I saw weren't because the software misbehaved. It really did what we intended it to do. It was just unbelievably unintuitive. So we did have a lot of tests, but it didn't really test what it needed to be. And we ended up releasing under the false premise that this is going to work out. We had a false sense of security because we didn't test what we should have tested, which is UX test this whole thing. But if we dig a little bit deeper, what really transpired here is cultural debt. The mindset of 2023, the hacking and stealing and lying, the getting away, and because of this being able to grow really, really successfully. I cannot highlight how big of an achievement it is that in 2023, Colossian performed at the top 10% of startups worldwide. But the trade-offs of that era is not something that we could, and I'm looking at myself here, I could quickly get off and just switch mentality in 2024. For this was the old ways sort of dragging us back a little bit. As I said, it wasn't bad code. The code was, I congratulated the developers who have been working on this. I told them that unbelievable work, that this 50,000 line change, they really didn't wreak a lot of havoc. But I think, and this is the silver lining in all of that, I think the company really needed this slap, and this was the push that we needed for us to be able to really accept that times have changed. We are selling to enterprises now who have different expectations. This is no longer the playground in the early days, and now we have to live up to their expectations, and stability is really more important now than just cranking out features one after the other and then solving it later somehow. So yeah. That's the story of our verse release so far. Q&A, guys.